What if your beloved video game turned into a living nightmare? This is the chilling premise we invite you to explore. Picture yourself, controller in hand, eyes transfixed to the vibrant images of the digital world unfolding before you. You're submerged in a universe of pixels and technology, completely engrossed in the virtual reality designed to entertain, challenge, and captivate. You've prepared for this. Countless hours spent mastering the gameplay, plotting every move, learning every rule. The characters are as real to you as your closest friends, and you've navigated the terrains as if they're your neighborhood. Your fingers glide with practiced ease across the buttons and triggers, mirroring the on-screen action with fluid precision. The euphoria of triumph, the burn of defeat, the spice of adventure, they're all woven into this world you've come to cherish and call your own. Now, imagine that very world turning against you. The picturesque landscapes mutate into haunting shadows, the skies weep red, and chilling winds shriek through the abandoned streets. Suddenly, the familiar characters you've grown to love are not your allies, but nightmares. They are twisted, grotesque, their faces warped with malevolent delight. The comfortable environment you've mastered with such skill morphs into a labyrinth of dread and terror. Suddenly, the rules of the game change. You're no longer battling for points or racing against time. You're fighting for your very existence, against demonic entities that were once benign pixels on a screen. They are now transformed into monstrous apparitions, hunting you down with relentless hunger. Their grotesque shadows, the very essence of dread and fear, follow you at every turn. The adrenaline that once fueled your victories now fuels your desperate race for survival in this hellish landscape. You can't pause, you can't quit. Every corner you turn reveals darker shadows. Each door you open could be a portal to unspeakable horrors. The shapes lurking in the darkness are no longer just digital creations, but a disturbing reality. You can almost hear their guttural growls, feel the icy chill of their presence. What you once loved has catastrophically evolved into your worst nightmare. The game isn't just a game anymore, but a sinister force that drags you into its nightmarish abyss. Welcome to the world of the possessed video game. Picture this, whenever you put on the VR headset, you're not simply engaging in a game. You're stepping into a realm of uncharted shadows and creeping terror. This cryptic virtual universe transcends the mundane confines of a traditional game. Each time the headset graces you, you are ensnared in a complex dance of illusion and reality, a world teeming with suspense and adrenaline where survival is your only objective. Each audio cue, each meticulously crafted character, designed to awaken a fear so tangible, it's almost alive. An uncanny silence prevails, eerily looming like a spectral shroud, enveloping the threateningly dark corners of this alien world. It's a silence so deep, so profound, it seems to consume all sound, reducing everything to an unsettling quietude. This quietude is sporadically broken by chilling whispers borne by the icy winds, a symphony of uncanny sounds that prickle your skin with goosebumps. This silence is far from peaceful. It's a silence that breathes, that stalks, that waits. It amplifies every crackling whisper to a deafening roar, creating an orchestra of terrors that sends shivers cascading down your spine. Every chilling whisper is a reminder, a warning that you're not alone, not safe. The ambiance is more than unsettling, though a monstrous predator is silently lurking within the shadows. The wind, the whispered threats, the deafening silence, all conspiring together to infuse an ever-present dread that seeps into your very bones. This dread, this insidious fear, is the heartbeat of this virtual world, permeating the game's atmosphere like a chilling fog, contaminating every nook and cranny of this realm, transforming it into a playground of nightmares. You find yourself perpetually on high alert, your senses heightened to a razor's edge, bracing for danger at each twist and turn. The tension is thick enough to cut through, sharper than the keenest blade. Lurking in the darkness, demonic entities lie in ambush. They stay hidden, biding their time, waiting for the opportune moment to unleash their terror. Each throb of your heart, each measured breath is filled with anticipation. You're walking a fine line between fear and courage, between life and the abyss. This is a world where fear is not just a gameplay mechanic. It's a palpable entity that weighs heavily on your shoulders, a relentless specter that haunts your every step. It's a world where every move could be your last, where a single wrong decision could mark your end. In this world, you're not simply indulging in a game anymore. You're a warrior, an explorer, thrown against the forces of the abyss, fighting for survival in a realm that thrives on your fear, a domain that feasts on your fortitude. And as you traverse this maze of dread, you come to understand that you're not merely battling for your character's survival, but for your own sanity. You're not just playing a game anymore, you're engaged in a battle for your very existence. The enemies you face here are far from the typical video game foes. The statement rings in the air, heavy with dread. We're delving into something much deeper than the usual adversaries. This isn't a discourse about the regular monsters, aliens, or the commonplace evil robots you've encountered in the past. Rather, we're discussing demons, the offspring of the bleakest recesses of imagination. The game creators spared no effort, pulling inspiration from the darkest abyss of horror and terror to craft these beings. Each entity is a grotesque depiction, a chef d'oeuvre of fear constructed with intricate precision. They are horrifying nightmares, distorted caricatures of life as we perceive it. Their bodies, contorted and warped, bear little resemblance to any known organic form. They are not just grotesque, they are abhorrent, their skin a crosshatch of scars and boils. Their limbs are an aberration of nature, twisted and gnarled, ending in vicious claws that look capable of tearing through the most resilient armor. Their eyes, alight with a sinister gleam, promise an eternity of agony and torment. Laughter is a nerve-wracking symphony that reverberates within the virtual world. It's a haunting sound that seems to be birthed from the deepest pits of despair. And it's not just their appearance that instills fear. Their abilities transcend the ordinary. They are not just adversaries you can outwit or evade. They are persistent predators, forever lurking in the penumbra, biding their time, and tracking your every move with a predatory precision. They're never more than a step behind, their fatal aura ever present, poised for that perfect moment to pounce. Their insatiable hunger, it's not something that can be appeased by a simple defeat. They don't desire a mere triumph. They thirst for something much more sinister. They yearn for the opportunity to rupture the virtual chains binding them. They crave the chance to breach the barrier between the digital and the physical realm. Their ultimate objective isn't simply to win the game. They don't just want to vanquish you within the game. Their ambition is to break free into our world. These entities don't just aspire to defeat you in the game, they seek to escape into the tangible reality. Each time you play, you aren't merely involved in a contest for points or trophies. Instead, you find yourself in the heart of an epic and brutal duel, where the stakes soar higher than the loftiest towers. You become a captive within the ruthless claws of a nightmarish, demonic reality that savors the terror and dread it sows with malicious intent. This is not just a game. It's a desperate struggle for survival. Every moment is an electrifying testament to the intensity and the immense pressure of this duel. A breathless, adrenaline-fueled clash where your survival teeters on the edge of a razor blade. The adversaries you encounter are not ordinary foes. They are grotesque, malevolent beings that skulk in the shadows of this accursed realm, their hideous forms pulsing with a vile life. Their haunting faces serve as a chilling reminder of the horrifying fate that could befall our world if the battle is lost. Every monster that succumbs to your might provides a fleeting moment of solace, a brief gasp of relief before the next wave of unspeakable terrors is unleashed. The suspense is tangible, a persistent tingling sensation that courses down your spine, raising goosebumps in its wake. It intensifies with every ticking second, a towering monolith of fear that teeters on the brink of collapse. The burden of your responsibility is colossal, oppressing you with its magnitude, yet it forms the only bulwark against the encroaching darkness that threatens to spill into our reality. Defeat is not merely a temporary setback, it's cataclysmic, an apocalyptic nightmare made tangible. It signifies the obliteration of all that we cherish, a destiny we must fight tooth and nail to avert. Victory, in stark contrast, is as ephemeral as a gust of wind, a fleeting moment of conquest in a never-ending war against the darkness. The game has evolved far beyond a simple hobby. It's a battle of life and death, a relentless fight against the horrifying risk of darkness engulfing our world. But what if the game is more than just a game? A strange thought bubbles to the surface, rising like a phantom from the profundity of a forsaken well. It sneaks into our consciousness, injecting an icy chill of apprehension into our perceptions, giving birth to a chilling possibility that snubs the comforting oblivion of ignorance. Could it be that this game is something more malevolent, more than just an innocuous access point to a digital world filled with pixelated adventures and electronic victories? Could this whimsical platform be a devious snare, ingeniously devised and meticulously executed, conceived with the singular objective of entrapping the unsuspecting player? This insidious trap could be multi-layered, much like the game's complex levels, initially masked by the thrill of adventure but gradually morphing into a labyrinth of danger. It could be an intricate web woven with threads of deception, each strand leading the player further into the belly of the beast. And isn't it an alarming thought, a thought that dips the game in shades of obscurity, morphing it into a monstrous entity that pulls the players, drags them into an eternal nightmare? This game could strive to seize their virtual avatars. But what if its clutches reach out to the player's reality, attempting to colonize their real lives too? The exhilaration of the game, the adrenaline rush, the cascading sense of fear that engulfs us each time we conquer a level, it all appears so benign. But what if it isn't? What if every click, every swipe, every interaction within this digital universe is a perilous leap, an ominous shadow hanging over our very existence? Imagine each game played as a roll of dice in a high-stakes gamble, where the player is not just staking their virtual life, but their real one too. Each level cleared could be another step into a well-orchestrated trap, each victory luring you deeper into a sinister game where the final boss isn't a pixelated monster, but the monstrous potential of unseen real-life consequences. In the end, the game claims a real life. The voice echoes ominously as the scene transitions to the player's desperate struggle, their futile attempts to escape the clutches of the game. The screen shows their trembling hands, their frantic eyes, the beads of sweat trickling down their faces. But their efforts are in vain. The demonic creatures once confined to the pixelated world make their escape into the real world. Their grotesque forms, previously harmless digital constructs, now become tangible, monstrous entities. The screen fills with horrifying images of these demons, their wicked laughter echoing in the background as they wreak havoc in the real world. The scene then shifts to show the catastrophic aftermath. The real world starts merging with the game world. Skyscrapers transform into towering, pixelated structures. Streets are filled with game-like objects, and chaos reigns. The voice continues, "The game was not just a game, it was a gateway, a portal that bridged two vastly different realities, morphing our world into a nightmarish realm." The closing scene is a panoramic view of the destruction, the once bustling city now a hauntingly silent wasteland. The voice delivers the final chilling line. The game was not just a game, it was a gateway to hell. The scene fades to black, leaving the viewers with a disturbing thought. Perhaps the games they play aren't as harmless as they seem.